Hello. What do you think is the most important thing for a child? Is it toys, delicacies, clothes, or something else? Sometimes children get annoyed and dissatisfied when their parents don't buy them what they desire. This story is about a little child who requested numerous things from his parents but did not get any of the things that he asked for. When somebody else offered the child the same things, he refused everything. What might have happened? Let's see. It was the festival of spring. As the people proceeded towards the fair, a little boy ran excitedly amongst the crowd with his parents, who were constantly monitoring him. When the child saw a toy shop on his way to the fair, he could not suppress his desire to own a toy. And though he knew his parents wouldn't agree, he said, "I want that toy." His father looked at him angrily, and his mother diverted his attention to a mustard field. They walked through the mustard field, and the child was fascinated by the little insects. His mother gave a cautionary call. "Come, child, come. Come on to the footpath." The child followed. As the parents sat under a grove, they again instructed the child to go with them. He was then fascinated by the raining petals and the cooing of doves. His parents lifted him up and walked towards the footpath which led to the fair through the mustard field. Do you think parents should agree to their child's every request? The child was extremely excited to enter the fair. He saw a sweetmeat seller selling delicious sweets. His mouth watered and he pleaded to his parents. "I want that burfi." As he had expected, he received no answer and he moved on. Next, the child was drawn to a flower shop. "I want that garland," he murmured. But he knew that his parents would not acquiesce. So without waiting for an answer, he moved on. Then the child saw a balloon seller. He wanted to possess the colorful balloons, but he was aware that his parents would never buy them for him. So he walked on farther. Then the child went towards a snake charmer. Remembering that his parents had forbidden him to listen to the coarse music of the snake charmer, he walked on. Finally, seeing a roundabout, the child could not control his urge to experience the ride. He said, "I want to go on the roundabout. Please, father, mother." There was no reply. He turned and was shocked to find himself separated from his parents. He looked here and there, but could not see his parents. Then a deep cry rose within him, and he wailed desperately. "Mother! Father!" He kept wailing and running hither and thither, but to no avail. Exhausted, he stood defeated, still sobbing. He ran to the shrine. He kept running through people's legs, crying, "Mother! Father!" He was on the verge of being trampled under people's foot when he shrieked at the top of his voice, "Father! Mother!" A kind man heard him and lifted him up in his arms. He asked the child,
"How did you get here, child? Whose baby are you?"
The child wept and only cried, "I want my mother. I want my father." The man tried to console the child. He offered to take the child on a roundabout. But the child refused and cried, "I want my mother! I want my father!" The man tried to distract the child by offering to let him watch the snake charmer. He offered to get him balloons, flower garlands, sweets. But the child didn't want any of those things. He kept sobbing, "I want my mother! I want my father!" And thus the story ends. After watching the animation, what do you think is the most important element in the life of a child? A lost child doesn't care about anything else. All he wants is his parents. This shows that parents are the most important part of a child's life. Often you might have got annoyed when your parents refused to buy you the things you asked for. However, it is only our parents that we would ultimately wish for in their absence. Do you agree on this point? What are your opinions on the parent-child bond? Think about it.
Hello there. What would you do if you were separated from your parents in a crowded public place, like a park or a mall? Visiting new places and doing new things can be great fun. But children need to know how to get help in case they get lost. Being lost and feeling helpless is a scary experience. And no matter how old you are, in this video, we will be learning about one such little boy who gets lost in a fair. Come, let's learn about his story. Introduction. In Mulk Raj Anand's allegorical short story, The Lost Child is a story about a little child who becomes a victim of an unfortunate event. The story depicts the struggle of getting lost and separated from the comfort and security of one's loved ones. The story The Lost Child wonderfully investigates the innovative and inquisitive psyche of a kid. It describes how the marvels of the world and their excellence enthrall a child's fancy. The kid is enthralled by the flapping of flying creatures, such as butterflies, and is thrilled to see the awesome magnificence of blossom petals. Another subject on which the author has touched is the fortitude that the child displays. Even after recognizing the hard truth of being separated from his parents, he recalls to do the right thing and searches for them. He is impervious to the attraction of temporary pleasures, like sweetmeats or joy rides offered by the benevolent man. Settings of the story. The story is set in an Indian town around the hour of independence. Set in the springtime, the novel takes readers back to a time when changing seasons were honored with fairs, which offered basic delights such as a sweetmeat vendor, a flower vendor, a snake charmer, a balloon vendor, and so on. The types of mobility, such as people riding horses on the roadways and others traveling in bamboo and bullock carts, emphasize the time period. Allegorical short story. The word allegory comes from the Latin allegoria, meaning speaking to imply something else. An allegory is a literary device used to tell stories on two levels, the literal and the figurative. The literal level is the plot, characters, and setting. The figurative level is what these elements represent. The literal meaning is designed to entertain the reader, whilst the underlying allegorical meaning has a profound message or social commentary that the author wants to portray. Allegorical stories are figurative rather than literal. They require interpretation from readers. Due to their figurative style, allegorical texts are good examples of texts that show, rather than tell authors' perspectives. Allegory is generally used in fiction. Popular text types which involve allegory include poems, novels, short stories, fables, parables, and films. Allegory is used in writing to express large, sometimes abstract ideas, or to comment on society. Stories with allegories often teach a lesson about life. They might include a moral, which is a lesson about right and wrong. Other times, the hidden meaning is the author's beliefs about politics, religion, or society. These are some of the most famous allegory books, poems, and stories that show how this literary device works. The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan, Animal Farm by George Orwell, The Tortoise and the Hare by Aesop, The Scarlet